What is NBA MVP Nikola Jokic up to this summer? Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for June 4th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
The three-time MVP Nikola Jokic isn't to participate in this year's NBA Finals, so he can hit the river a bit early. Last summer, the Denver Nuggets Star Center hit the Tara after wrapping up the franchise's first ever championship, where the big man took home Finals MVP. But this year, the Nuggets went home after a second-round loss to the Wolves and allows Jokic to get back on the water with his buddies. So the trip to the Tara, which is essentially kind of representing the Grand Canyon in a way, has become an annual thing for Jokic. Last year, he was backflipping and being showered with MVP chants. And this year, a few people shouted as they saw Jokic and his buddies go down the canyon. You can obviously see the pictures right there from social media. And then if you go over to denversports.com, Jake Shapiro has a wonderful article over there, and you can actually see the video of him going down the river. So pretty cool right there for the MVP. The Colorado Rockies now will move on to the MLB, had a strong month of May, and reinforcements are on the way. Rockies manager Bud Black shared over the weekend that both of the team's top two starters should be back before next month's All-Star, who is dealing with an elbow strain in his throwing arm, is about 3 weeks away from his possible return. He was recently moved to the longer injured reserve list, and he'll be eligible to pitch when he's healthy. He got off to a very, very rough start before getting roughed up in 4 outings. And meanwhile, German Marquez is recovering from Tommy John surgery, and he is throwing bullpens and nearing a big league return as well, which would obviously be massive. I know fans absolutely love Marquez, so it would be great to see him get back out there. He also re-signed with the Rockies in the offseason, facing elbow difficulty just a few starts into the 2023 season. So it'll be great to see them. Of course, nobody expected the month of May for the Rockies like they had, so it was absolutely incredible to see them be able to knock off some of the top teams in the MLB. They've been struggling a little bit more as of recent, but hey, maybe if they get these two guys back, things will look a little bit good. Going over to the NFL now, Tom Brady played in the NFL from obviously 2000 to 2022, and he's had a lot of teammates over the 2+ decades. But according to a new report, hundreds of those teammates, yes, I say the word hundreds, will be attending his Patriots Hall of Fame introduction ceremony on June 12th. The report did not state exactly who will be in attendance, but it is known, and it's not known of any former coaches that will also be in attendance. But again, plenty. I can guarantee you we'll probably see a Bill Belichick. I think we will probably see a Gronkowski out there. Maybe like a Wes Welker. Obviously, that Patriots-Broncos connection there too would be interesting. But yes, hundreds of them. And it also would not surprise me if we see a good old pal named Peyton Manning out there as well. Going over to Boulder now, the CU Buffs announced plans for a massive new video board at Folsom Field last November. Everyone was excited about it. We were like, okay, Coach Prime's bringing in all this money. This is going to be great. And on Monday, they shared progress from the project. When the upgrade was revealed 7 months ago, the University of Colorado said it would be done in time for the 2024 season. And it sure seems to be heading that way in that direction. This is the south side of Folsom Field and has 5 times the surface area of the old one. You can see it obviously on your screen. It looks massive. And I feel like in the picture on the left, you're kind of like, oh, it looks like a little bit small. You have to realize how big an actual football stadium is. So it's going to be a really big improvement over there for sure. So I think it's going to look great. I can't wait to see it out there. It measures 130 feet wide by 36 feet tall. Yeah, 130 feet wide by 36 feet tall. So it is going to be massive, and it's 8 feet taller than the old board and 98 feet wider. So much, much improved over there. It takes Colorado from having one of the smallest video boards in major college football to above the national average. And CU's first home game is going to be August 29th against North Dakota State. So that's when you'll finally be able to see it, which will be really cool. Now, sticking with college football. Nick Saban and Urban Meyer are the headliners on this year's College Football Hall of Fame ballot. No surprise there. Both coaches are listed on the ballot for the first time, along with players like Aaron Darnold, Mark Ingram, Deshaun Jackson. Saban retired earlier this year and holds the record for most national titles with 7. And Meyer has won 3 titles, 2 with Florida and 1 with Ohio State. Not surprised by either of these 2 names being, highlighting the board, but I do think that they will both be able to obviously get in. Nick Saban being a legend, and then obviously Urban Meyer. Depending on how you feel about him, you can either be excited about this or not excited about it. Moving over to the NFL now, several NFL teams, including the Eagles, 49ers, and Cowboys, commenced their mandatory minicamps today. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to dive into it in just a second, but like the Eagles camp, they're featuring key players like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, which we are still waiting to see what the NFL is going to do about Saquon Barkley. And apparently, talking to people during free agency, Still waiting on that to come out. It drew significant media attention and fan excitement seeing Saquon Barkley out there. But then the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, the reigning offensive player of the year, confirmed his attendance out there. But then this is where I think things get a little interesting. Cowboy star wide receiver CeeDee Lamb has not been spotted in Dallas for the mandatory minicamp, which kind of has connection in a way, just in the situation, about the same as Courtland Sutton hasn't been spotted. Now, of course, the Broncos aren't in mandatory minicamp yet. That'll be next week. But they have OTAs, and Lamb has also not been present for any of the voluntary OTAs. So will it kind of be the same situation? Lamb is seeking a new contract extension. Courtland Sutton is also. Is Courtland Sutton going to follow suit with some of these other players and just not show up? They do get fined if they don't go out to minicamp. So next week will be very, very interesting to see kind of what ends up happening right there. I was talking to some of the coworkers in here before we started the show, and I was like, the drama can really start next week with the Courtland Sutton saga. Like, things can get a little bit more interesting on how he decides to handle that, if he'll just take the fine, which I've never understood, because if you want more money, you want more guaranteed money, yet you're just going to give up money for not showing up. It's always been a little interesting for me. So we will see what ends up happening, but mandatory minicamp not starting for the Broncos today, even though we will be out there for OTAs. I'll head out there in just a few minutes. But yes, next week will be the 3-day mandatory minicamp starting for the Broncos. Now, fun story to end on, because on June 4th, 1974, the Cleveland Indians hosted the infamous 10-cent beer night, a promotion that led to chaos and riot at the Cleveland Stadium. If you have heard of this event, I'm super impressed. This is the first time I was hearing on it, and I'm not going to lie, it really made me laugh. So the event, intended to boost attendance, saw 25,000 fans consume an estimated 60,000 beers. I was like, oh my gosh. But the night ended in disaster with 19 streakers, 7 arrests, and 7 people sent to the emergency room. The game was forfeited to the Texas Rangers after fans stormed the field in the 9th inning, leading to a chaotic scene, which included fights and property damage. The incident remains a notorious moment in sports history. I think it is absolutely hysterical. I'm not going to lie. I can't imagine like waking up the next morning in 1974, reading your newspaper and being like, what the heck happened over there with the Cleveland Indians? So definitely a funny story to end on this Tuesday, but I'm headed out to Broncos. So we're going to quickly just go over everything. I see some of the comments. Good morning. Thank you for spending just a little bit of time. But like I said, I got to head out to Broncos. Last day of OTAs. I cannot wait to see who's going to be with the quarterbacks. We've been talking a lot about it, obviously, Thursdays, it's always been Bo Nix's day. Is that going to be the same for today? Is he going to be with the ones again on a Tuesday, or are we going to see Zach Wilson or Jared Stidham? And Sean Payne's just trying to confuse all of the media and be like, okay, I told you I wasn't lying. It's going to be different. So we will see. I will have all the information for you guys tonight. Check out my social media handles. Make sure you check out denversports.com. Orange and Blue today, I know, will also be doing a show live at 4 o'clock. So make sure you tune in, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.